Should all knowledge be shared freely, or are some truths hidden for a reason? Most people have never read the Book of Enoch, and that is no coincidence. This ancient text was left out of mainstream religion because it raised uncomfortable questions and told stories that do not fit the official religious narrative. In this video, you'll learn why it was excluded and how its ideas disrupt the way we think about good, evil, God, and the structure of reality. The Book of Enoch is an ancient Jewish work, and it was written around 300 to 200 BCE, and it centers around Enoch, who is the great-grandfather of Noah. In the Bible, in Genesis chapter 5, verses 24, Enoch is briefly mentioned as someone who walked with God and then he was no more. The Book of Enoch picks up where the Bible leaves off, unraveling a story of angels, rebellion, judgment, and hidden knowledge. It tells us that long ago, when humanity was still very young, a group of beings known as the Watchers were assigned to observe Earth and guide humanity from afar. These entities swore that they would stay away from humanity, but eventually curiosity turned into temptation, and these entities were drawn to human women, and the Watchers broke their oath. They descended to Earth and took women for themselves, leading to the birth of a hybrid race called the Nephilim. They were giants who were destructive and corrupted the balance of life. The Watchers then began teaching forbidden knowledge to humanity. One entity named Azazel taught the art of war and vanity. Others revealed secrets of magic, astrology, the manipulation of energy, and so much more. Humanity, who was once innocent, was now entangled in chaos and spiritual confusion. In response, the archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel, reported the rebellion to God, and so a great judgment was declared. The Nephilim would be wiped out in a flood, and the Watchers would be imprisoned in darkness. Enoch was told to pass these messages on to his great-grandson, Noah, who would survive the coming reset. Meanwhile, Enoch was taken to the heavens and shown the hidden structures of creation. He saw realms beyond human sight, the movement of the stars, and the divine timeline of justice. He recorded all he saw, warning his descendants of the coming flood and the restoration that would follow. When his task was complete, Enoch did not die like other men. He was taken up, body and spirit, to dwell among the angels, leaving behind a record of a world that exists beyond the limits of human perception. Now, I usually explore traditional Gnostic texts, and the Book of Enoch isn't technically a part of the group of Gnostic Gospels. Some of the themes overlap with Gnostic thought, like rebellion and the idea that we are living in a layered world or a matrix. But others, like divine judgment and angelic warfare, reflect a more Hebrew apocalyptic worldview. In the book, the Watchers taught humanity about things like craftsmanship, astrology, geology, sorcery, cosmetics, and so much more. But in the Book of Enoch, this is framed as dangerous because it gave humanity power that wasn't meant for them. That's why God sent the flood and reset everything. But from the perspective of the Watchers, this knowledge wasn't evil in itself. It was just unauthorized. Many people who are deeply religious and traditional believe that things like astrology and sorcery are demonic because they see them as attempts to access spiritual power outside of what they consider God-approved sources. From their perspective, anything that doesn't come through their specific religious framework that they set up is viewed as deceptive or linked to evil. This is because all humans, consciously or unconsciously, shape their concept of God based on their personal experiences, beliefs, fears, culture, and desires. They create different concepts of God based on what they seek most in life. People who align with traditional religion often create a lawgiver, judge-like God who rewards obedience and punishes disobedience. And this is because this version of God offers certainty, safety, and rules in a chaotic world. This God is Yahweh, the God of the Abrahamic religions, and people who believe in these religions and that specific God are called monotheists. Similarly, ironically, scientists see God in patterns of the cosmos because they seek order and admire what can be physically measured through mathematics and number. A tribe might see God in nature because harmony with the earth are central to their survival and way of life. A New Age seeker often imagines God as the universe or their higher self because they want empowerment and healing with less dogma. A mystic or a philosopher experiences God as a logical principle because they're searching for ultimate truth and they crave a direct connection to God beyond the physical. The dangers of something like monotheism arise when a single absolute view of God becomes tied to control, hierarchy, and exclusion. When only one version of God is seen as true, it can lead to intolerance, dogma, moral absolutism, justification of violence, suppression of individual spirituality, and fear-based obedience. Monotheistic religion, however, is not bad, and monotheism isn't inherently harmful. But when it becomes institutionalized, it shifts from personal faith into systems of power. And that's where the real danger begins. This is deeply relevant to the Book of Enoch because the text reveals a more complex spiritual world than monotheism typically allows. And that's exactly why it was excluded from most religious canons. In the Book of Enoch, we don't just see one all-powerful God acting alone. Instead, we see multiple divine beings with different agendas, a cosmic rebellion where not all divine entities are good or aligned, the introduction of unauthorized knowledge that challenges divine authority, and a chosen human gaining direct access to higher realms without a church or following explicit rules. There's a fine line between unauthorized knowledge and knowledge that is dangerous. Unauthorized knowledge is simply what's being hidden from the masses by those in power. This knowledge only becomes dangerous when it threatens the systems that banned it in the first place. In the Book of Enoch, astrology and magic were never framed as false or ineffective. They were just off limits, which raises the question, was the knowledge itself corrupting, or was it just something powerful enough to shift the balance of control? The very fact that this type of knowledge had to be forbidden suggests that this system is far more fragile than it presents itself to be. If everything in this system was truly unshakable, it wouldn't need to hide alternative ideas, demonize ancient teachings, or punish people who look for alternative truths. The banning of texts like the Book of Enoch, the fear of astrology, and the suppression of mystical traditions all point to the idea that we live in a system that depends on a certain level of ignorance to sustain itself. So, yes, these ideas are dangerous, not because they're false, but because they challenge a reality that relies on you never questioning what it actually is. Thanks for watching.